The top 10 Intamin roller coasters. But wait, that I've ridden. Yes, these are the top 10 Intamin roller coasters that I've ridden. And this also means that it isn't top 10 Intamin roller coasters in general, but I will be counting down the ones that I've ridden up to this date of 2017. I will obviously hope to hit up more and more in the near future. Now, I don't know if I'll be hitting up more and more in the near of 2017, but I'm hoping to hit up more in the coming years and possibly even months. But for now, it's just top 10 Intamin roller coasters that I've ridden, so I hope you all enjoy. Without further ado, let's quickly jump right into it. First up is Fahrenheit at Hershey Park. Now, this is an awesome roller coaster at Hershey Park, and it is one of the best rides at the park. This ride has some crazy inversions and elements, and it has a beyond vertical drop as well as a beyond vertical lift hill. So it's almost like you're relaxing on that vertical lift hill, but then you're going beyond vertical on the drop, which makes it so cool. I absolutely love Fahrenheit. It's an awesome roller coaster. Now, it isn't the best roller coaster I've ridden, obviously. However, by Intamin, it definitely makes top 10. Next up is King Nakata's Six Flags Great Adventure, the tallest roller coaster in the world at the moment and the fastest in North America. Now, this is an overwhelmed, overrated roller coaster as opposed to many. And I would have to say that this is somewhat correct and somewhat incorrect, because this ride definitely is an intense, awesome roller coaster and is one of the best rides at the park. However, compared to many other roller coasters in general, it definitely isn't all that amazing. But I still do really like this roller coaster. It is fast, it's intense, it's tall, it has a great drop. However, you don't really feel it. That's the thing. So if you felt it, it would be all the more better, and probably even better than the next one, which is Top Roll Dragster at Cedar Point. Another awesome roller coaster. And the thing is with this roller coaster is that this ride provides more than King Nakata because of this better smoothness, because King Nakata, as opposed to Top Roll Dragster, has the hard shoulder restraints, while Top Roll Dragster has the comfortable lap bars. So you definitely have more freedom, that's one. And Top Roll Dragster is a smoother roller coaster, and ironically, it's an older roller coaster. So King Nakata definitely has some work to do with it. However, Top Roll Dragster is just slightly better. King Nakata has the intensity, but Top Roll Dragster is the freedom and the more smoother roller coaster experience. So that's why Top Roll Dragster, if you ask me, gets the edge, but King Nakata, when it comes to intensity, and also has that extra element at the end of it, the 128 Camelback Hill, it definitely really can go either way. It depends on what you like, but Top Roll Dragster, if you ask me personally, definitely gets the edge a little bit. Next up is Stormrunner Hershey Park. Now, this ride definitely grew on me from the last time I rode it to the most recent time that I've ridden it. And I rode this roller coaster last in 2016, and that made my ride experience with it all the more better. If you ask me, this ride has now exceeded over Top Roll Dragster and King Nakata. This ride is so cool. It has not so fast of a launch compared to the other two that were in the list. However, this ride still goes 72 miles per hour, which is still fast, don't get me wrong. And it has some cool inversions that are very unique that you wouldn't find on your daily roller coaster. And it has a really cool top hat that you get some okay airtime on, but this ride is another one of those rides with a restraint, so like the airtime you won't really feel as much. But this ride still has some awesome elements. Although it's a short ride, it's a good ride, and it's definitely one of the best rides at Hershey Park. This one may come to shock the Cedar Point fanboys, Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Now, do not get me wrong at all. This is an awesome roller coaster with some great elements as well. However, if you have ridden so many roller coasters like I have, you will experience this ride and notice that it's underwhelming as in comparison to what you think it would be. You would definitely think this would be the best Giga out there and the best roller coaster in the world, as it's been voted to be for years and years and years. But this ride definitely is not as intense as you would think, although it's more like drifts. However, it still has some great airtime moments, because here's the thing. When it comes to other Gigas, this ride probably has some of the more airtime of them, right up there with like Fury and Leviathan. But this ride, in comparison to intensity, nowhere near something like Intimidator 305 or even Leviathan and Fury, if you ask me. But this ride still has some awesome elements, but in comparison to what you would think it would be, it does not exceed, or succeed, I should say, what you would think it would be. Great drop, has a huge drop as well. It's a Giga for a reason, so it's still an awesome roller coaster. However, it is still better, obviously, than the four I've listed before. But in comparison to what you would think it would be, it would definitely not be on my number 2, number 1, even. Probably not even number 3. It probably isn't even in my top 3 Intamin roller coasters. It probably just makes my top 10 overall roller coasters that I've ridden in Millennium Force. And if not, right under my top 10. Because it's an awesome ride, don't get me wrong once again. But in comparison to others, it can do better in some elements. But I can't really blame it, because it's the first Giga. So you really can't say, oh, it's stupid. It's like, I'm not going to say that in comparison to other Gigas, because nowadays you can say that, but since it's the first Giga, you really can't expect as much as you would on other Gigas. So it just doesn't work that way. But Millennium Force at Cedar Point is still an awesome roller coaster by Intamin. Next up is Sky Rush at Hershey Park. Now, this ride is another ride that grew on me a lot, and the thigh restraints, as opposed to when I first rode it in 2012, which is, well, the first year that it came out, the thigh restraints were killers. They literally killed your thighs, and another thing, this also killed your neck. But I think as I grew, obviously, this ride got better. The thigh restraints didn't crush my thighs as much anymore, and my neck stayed back in the seat. It just felt like that. It was an awesome roller coaster. This ride is by far the best ride at Hershey Park. By far, I mean. It is one of the best steel roller coasters I've ever ridden, without a doubt. And it is just an awesome ride. It has an insanely fast lift hill, which kind of just ejects you over the hill and just flies you through the tracking. Now, the thing is, this ride is not a long ride whatsoever. It's only about a minute, a little over a minute. However, with what it provides in that minute or a little over a minute, it's fine and dandy because it's an awesome roller coaster. It has intensity. It has some insane ejector airtime moments, even with the crushing thigh restraints. And you are just flying all over the place with Sky Rush. There is no reason why that it shouldn't be like on your top 10 when it comes to steel roller coasters that you've ridden, and even top 5, because honestly this ride is in my top 10, probably not top 5, but nowadays it definitely can exceed into my top 10. It's an awesome ride, don't get me wrong, and it has a insanely steep drop, great airtime, intensity. Everything about this ride is just really cool and awesome, except the fact of the restraints. They could be slightly better still, but definitely my experience did go a lot more well, I guess you can say, as opposed to when it first came out in 2012 for me. Definitely a whole different experience, and now I do absolutely love Sky Rush. Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England is another awesome Intamin hyper roller coaster, and it is the only Intamin hyper roller coaster that I've ever ridden. And honestly, I liked it better as Bizarro. And I know people would say, wasn't this like your most favorite steel roller coaster of all time? And I have to say yes, but I think my opinions kind of changed and got mixed up a little bit when I last rode it, which was in 2016 as Superman the Ride. I just don't feel like it was as amazing and astonishing as it was back in, I guess you can say, when I last rode it in 2013. So, it's hard to explain now. It's still an awesome ride, don't get me wrong. And that's obviously why it makes my number 4 spot. It has some awesome airtime moments. You are flying all over the place. You have that awesome spaghetti bowl maneuver. And you're flying all over the place on this roller coaster. And it's still the same as it was on Bizarro. But in comparison to what it used to be, I felt, it kind of drifted down a bit. But it's still an amazing roller coaster. And is by far one of the best rides I've ever ridden still. It has great elements, great maneuvers. It has a cool drop. It has a great height. That's why it's a hyper. And it is probably number 2 for me at Six Flags New England. Believe it or not, I consider Wicked Cyclone better now. Still awesome rides, but Superman the Ride kind of drifted down a bit for me. Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England, still an awesome recommendation roller coaster that I suggest you hit up ASAP. The most intense roller coaster I've ever ridden. By far. And I know most people that have ridden it even as well with a ton of other roller coasters you've experienced, this succeeds to your number 1 when it comes to most intense rides. And it makes sense. From the drop all the way to the brake run, your face is peeling and you are all over the place. It has some awesome quick transitions. It has a crazily steep drop, and it has some okay airtime moments. Intamin 305 is probably my number 1, number 2, number 3 even favorite steel roller coaster of all time. It is an awesome ride. It is that awesome. If you were at King's Dominion and you missed this ride, I really have no words for you, because this is really the highlight. Until the apparent RMC Hurler comes around, it is going to be, oh, actually, I shouldn't even be saying apparent, because it's pretty much confirmed. But Intimidator 305 would probably still succeed over RMC Hurler. It is that awesome of a roller coaster. From the lift hill, which as well accelerates you up, and then down the 85-degree drop. And then the only slight complaint are the trim brakes, but that's all fine and dandy. Still makes it an awesome roller coaster. Does not really decrease it at all. Great ride. Highly recommend it. Intensity. Some okay airtime moments. But this ride is really just for the intensity. And for that, it makes it all the way go into my number 3. My number 2 Intamin of all time is Maverick at Cedar Point, and it is such an awesome roller coaster, and there's no reason why it is not any lower in this list, because honestly this ride has some great elements, from the drop, which is beyond vertical, 95 degrees. Although it isn't of the tallest roller coasters, you can judge a coaster by its size, or really anything by its size, and Maverick is a perfect example. It is one of the best rides out there, and it is by far, if you ask me, as of now, the best ride at Cedar Point, because RMC Mean Streak seems to be coming along to be the new best, but we will have to see. I really do look forward to hitting up Cedar Point once again in the near future, and I am hoping to as well. This ride has some awesome elements. It's intense, easily also as well one of the most intense roller coasters I've ever ridden, and it has some good airtime moments. And who could forget about that mid-course launch? That's an insane launch. You are back in your seat. If you are even slightly forward, you are pushed back. For me, at least, this ride has an awesome launch, and it is by far one of the best launches that you would experience on a roller coaster, or at least that I've ridden. Other than that, this roller coaster has some cool inversions and elements in general, and there's no reason why people should hate this roller coaster, because obviously everyone has their opinions. But if you hate Maverick, or for some reason don't even like it, or don't hate it, you don't even have to like it. Awesome roller coaster. I don't know why people would really just hate on Maverick, because it's one of the rides that I actually see that no one hates on. That's a good thing, I guess you can say for now, because it's an awesome roller coaster, and I'd be surprised for the first hate comment that I get on Maverick. Now for my number one, and my number one goes to El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. Now I know this may come to shock many as to being my number one, because there are other roller coasters that could have easily beaten it. But I don't know. I don't know, some people may consider this biased, but I just have a soft spot for El Toro, besides the fact that it's a phenomenal roller coaster that I've been riding for years. From the airtime to that world-class drop of any roller coaster, any wooden roller coaster at least, to the overbanks and the speed. This ride is phenomenal. You're flying all over the place with El Toro. If you dislike El Toro, it's pretty sad. But honestly, El Toro, it did gain a slight rattle, because now it's getting older and older, you have to remember, but it's still an awesome roller coaster by Intamin. Now it's at least getting that traditional wooden roller coaster feel, and it is still an awesome roller coaster. I would have to say El Toro is still my number one Woody, right up there probably with Lightning Rod, or I should say Lightning Rod is right up there with El Toro, but El Toro is an awesome roller coaster. Great elements and a great ride, and for sure recommendation at Six Flags Great Adventure. For me, if I had to choose one roller coaster just ride all day at Six Flags Great Adventure, it would be El Toro. Although my neck would probably be paining me by the end of that. But other than that, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, awesome roller coaster. And I thank you all so much for watching my top 10 Intamin roller coasters I've ever ridden. Please tell me, are there other Intamin roller coasters that could possibly be my number one in the near future? I am looking forward to your thoughts, because I am very happy with this list, and you guys should be too. Obviously, everyone has their own opinions. Please let me know of the 10 in this list. Please let me know your top 10, because I am very interested to know. And once again, thank you all so much for watching. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe, and I will catch you all next time here on this channel.